You ever meet someone who treats a neighborhood like it's their personal kingdom? Yeah, that's exactly how we met our welcoming committee the day we moved in. It was supposed to be one of those perfect mornings, blue sky, fresh paint smell, new beginnings. My wife Mia was practically glowing as the moving truck pulled up. We'd worked years for that house, every dollar scraped together, every late night worth it. The plan was simple: unload, unpack, pop a bottle of cheap champagne, and just breathe for once. But about 10 minutes in, the air shifted. I was carrying boxes through the front door when I heard this sharp voice, the kind that sounds like it's been waiting for a fight. "Excuse me, you can't park that truck there." Standing in the middle of the street was this woman, mid-50s, pastel cardigan, clipboard clutched like a weapon. I swear, you could almost hear the sound of a whistle that didn't exist. I tried to be polite. "Morning, ma'am. We'll be done soon, just moving in." She squinted at me like I'd just confessed to a crime. Moving in? Without authorization? Who approved this? I blinked. The bank, I guess. Her lips tightened. "I'm Karen Pennington, HOA president, and no one moves into Willowbrook Estates without my review." Now, I thought she was joking. Maybe this was some weird neighborhood hazing thing. But then she physically stepped in front of the movers, blocking the doorway. One hand on her hip, the other raised like she was about to direct traffic. "Ma'am," the mover said, "we just need to get this couch inside." "No," she snapped. "Not until I verify they belong here." I laughed nervously. "I literally have the deed in my car." She pointed toward the truck. "You're trespassing until I say otherwise." And that's when it hit me. She wasn't joking. She actually believed she had power over my front door. Mia came outside, holding our coffee mugs, trying to smooth things over. "Hi, I'm Mia, this is Alex. We just..." Karen cut her off. "I don't need names. I need documents." The movers froze, unsure whether to keep working or call someone. The neighbors? They peeked from behind their curtains, little shadows shifting. Not one of them came out. Mia looked at me, eyes wide. "What do we do?" And I said, "We call the police." Karen smirked. "Go ahead. I'll explain everything to them." 5 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. One older, calm, the other new and nervous. Karen practically sprinted to their car, waving her clipboard like a flag. "Officers, thank goodness. These people are attempting to occupy a home without authorization from the HOA." I swear, even the rookie had to bite back a laugh. I walked over, handed Officer Martinez the closing papers, the deed, my ID. "We closed on Friday. This is our house." Karen interrupted. "Those documents mean nothing until they're approved by the HOA board." Martinez looked at her slowly. "Ma'am, that's not how property law works." Karen huffed. "You don't understand. This community has standards. We protect those standards." Mia whispered to me. "She sounds like she's running for office in her own head." Martinez gave her a final warning. "If you continue blocking these people or their movers, you'll be cited for harassment. Do you understand?" Karen folded her arms, chin lifted like a queen who'd just been insulted by a peasant. "You'll regret this. I'm just trying to maintain order." They left. For a moment, it was quiet again. We started unloading boxes, shaking our heads. I thought maybe she'd crawl back into her HOA cave and stew in silence. But 20 minutes later, she came marching down the sidewalk again, armed this time. Clipboard, measuring tape, phone camera. She started snapping photos of the moving truck, muttering about violations. "Truck too close to the curb, blocking emergency access." She said it like she was narrating her own crime drama. I sighed. "Karen, please. We're just trying to move in. You're violating Rule 12.6. No commercial vehicles may obstruct." "Karen," I said, "the movers are literally moving. That's the point." She pointed the camera in my face. "I'm documenting your non-compliance." That's when I lost it, not by yelling, but by laughing. "Lady, you can document whatever you want. I'm not living under your fantasy government." I called the station again. 10 minutes later, the same cruiser rolled up. Officer Martinez stepped out, sunglasses on, jaw tight. You could tell he was already done with her. He didn't even say hello. "What now, Miss Pennington?" She gestured wildly at the truck. "They're breaking the rules. It's illegal." He checked his notepad, sighed. "No, it's not. We already went over this." Karen turned bright red. "You don't understand. This is my neighborhood. I decide who gets to live here." Martinez looked at her, dead serious. "Not anymore, you don't." Then he pulled out his handcuffs. The street went silent. The neighbors who'd been hiding came out. Phones out. Cameras ready. Karen started yelling about civil liberties and community integrity as he led her to the squad car. One of the movers whispered, "So, do we keep unloading?" Mia smiled. "Yeah, I think we're good now." We finished moving that afternoon. The house felt a little quieter than I expected, like the neighborhood was holding its breath. Later, one of the neighbors stopped by, a nice older guy named Ron. He said, "You two handled that better than most." Karen's been running this place like a dictatorship for years. Turns out, everyone had a story. Fines for flowers being the wrong color, warnings about wind chimes, even citations for unsightly garden gnomes. No one had stood up to her before. The next day, word spread that the HOA board called an emergency meeting. By the end of the week, Karen was out, voted down by the very people she'd been controlling. Now, I know what you're thinking, poetic justice, right? Maybe. But here's the thing, every neighborhood's got a Karen. Sometimes it's not about lawns or mailboxes, it's about control. About someone needing to feel powerful in a world where they probably don't. And maybe that's sad. Or maybe that's just how people are wired. Some build fences, others tear them down. But me? I just wanted to move my couch. So tell me, what would you have done? Would you have stayed calm like I did, or let her have it right there on the driveway? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And if you've ever had your own HOA horror story, trust me, you're not alone.